Welcome, folks. I'm Jaby Koay, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
I've discovered Ian Kung from Gus Johnson, and we watched one of his videos recently that I enjoyed way more than ACHARA. I like their stuff so much, Gus Johnson, and I'm enjoying Ian Kung recently. So this video is called How to Ask What Kind of Asian Are You? It's only a 28-second long video. I don't know how much we can talk about this, but I feel like ACHARA and I have some experience to talk about this, to draw upon for this. But I have no idea what we're getting into here. So let's watch it and then let's see where we go.
Hey, I'm Ian, and today I'm going to show you how to ask if someone is actually Chinese or Japanese. Now, for some reason, if you're a white guy like David, you can't just go charging in there with a statistically decent guess like,
Hey Ian, are you Chinese or Japanese?
what, just because I'm Asian, I'm either Chinese or Japanese?
Oh, no.
Communist.
But if you would just slightly change the question to,
Hey Ian, are you Korean by any chance?
no, actually, I'm Chinese.
Oh, cool.
Wow. I don't think that would go over well with a Chinese person, actually. That's so interesting. But maybe they wouldn't care. Well, I take that back. I mean, Japanese and Chinese people do have, there's historical context for the beef that's there. You know, people say like white people are racist or these people are racist. I'm like, you know, I don't think there's anyone more racist on the planet than Asians. Like, they just hate each other a lot. I feel like we've grown out of that quite a bit. Like, especially like with noticing where K-pop has traveled to.
Right.
You know, it goes everywhere.
Music is the uniting force.
Yeah, J-pop as well. but K-pop has had more resonance than J-pop. But J-pop,
Currently.
I noticed J-pop before K-pop.
Well, back in the day, back in our youth,
right?
You know, J-pop was huge.
Right, exactly. The question usually isn't what kind of Asian are you that Asians get hit with. They're like, what are you?
Oh yeah,
you know,
that's the one. What are you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, a human.
Right, where are you from? It's the question I would get asked a lot. Or what is your nationality? And I'm like,
American.
You
from
mean
the US.
You mean ethnicity, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. It's like nationality is American, ethnicity is the other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like what your roots are. Because I would say American. Okay. What about your parents? American.
I know. Sometimes, like when people ask me those questions, and I know what they're trying to say. Sometimes I just like to give people a hard time.
Yeah.
So I'll like deliberately give them the answer that they don't want to hear.
Right.
Because they'll be like,
just be a punk.
Yeah. They'll just be like, yeah, but okay, what are you? An alien? What? No, I mean, like, what's your nationality? British. No, but like, where are your parents from? Well, they're British too. And you know, like, just to keep it going and see how long I can keep it going until they're like, what's your ethnicity? I'm like, thank you.
Just until their head explodes like aliens at the end of Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
I still get hit with this question online, like every day. Like, no, but like, where's your mom from? Like, ask her then. Like, why are you asking me? I'm me. I'm just a human being, goddammit.
What kind of Asian are you?
Yeah.
How did he phrase it? Excuse me, Ian. Are you maybe
Korean by chance, yeah.
Korean by chance? Maybe it's just the way that he asked it. Whereas the first question is like, are you Chinese or Japanese? I get bugged by those questions. Like,
yeah, some Asians really hate being asked that question. It's like, I don't ask you what kind of white you are. Why are you asking me what kind of Asian I am? Like, why does it matter? They don't usually ask what kind of Asian. They'll just cut straight to, you know, what's your nationality? That's usually the question that pops up more than what kind of Asian are you? That's what I've noticed anyway.
Yeah, but then when people ask what's your nationality and you're a US passport holder, then you're like, well, I'm American. Like, what are you?
What I want to know is, for those watching, if you're a white guy, how many times have you asked an Asian guy his ethnicity versus asking an Asian girl their ethnicity? That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, good
if you're
question.
an Asian guy, like, how many times have you been approached and asked what your ethnicity is, like what kind of Asian you are? Because I feel like it's just an attempt to have an approach more than anything. It's just an attempt
like a pickup line, kind of?
I suppose. It's like you're just trying to find conversation. As a guy, if you're trying to talk to any broad, you're trying to just find conversation, and it seems like an easy gateway into talking to that person, and you might not realize that you're triggering that individual because they get asked that all the time. And
especially when assumptions are made, like when people will often ask me like,
you like noodles, right? Because you're Chinese or something stupid like that.
Yeah, that's quite offensive. I do like noodles though.
Someone actually has said that to you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I do like noodles, I'm just saying. I like noodles. I like noodles, because noodles are delicious. What kind of monster doesn't like noodles?
Right.
No, if you don't like noodles, that's fine. I don't hate you. No, I mean, I get, oh, are you Japanese? Don't ask me, are you this thing? Just ask me, like, hey, I'm really curious, like, what's your ethnicity or what's your ethnic background, you know?
You should start that line with, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry for asking this. I can't help my curiosity. Shoot me. What's your ethnicity? That's how I would come at it.
I'm okay with that. Stop making assumptions about like where I'm from, because you'll probably get it wrong. But I'd be super impressed if you get it right.
Or if you're in Los Angeles, they'll just speak Spanish to you. That's what happens to me sometimes, like a lot. It doesn't happen as often, but I remember like there would be a lot of instances growing up in North Hollywood where they would just start talking Spanish to me, and I'm like, no, I don't speak what you speak, man. Like,
No habla español.
I just wish this video was longer. I know that the whole joke is that it's a short video.
Right.
And that's kind of the draw of it, but I do wish it was a longer video where he really dives into his experiences, expanding beyond the joke and making fun of it, like talking about what he's encountered, what he's dealt with, like what people have assumed about him. Statistically, it is more than likely that you're Chinese.
I was thinking about that after I said, you know, if I would be pretty impressed if someone could guess where I was from, what the Asian half of my ethnicity is, because it's not the most common. Whereas, like, I think Chinese is, yeah, you got a good chance of getting that right. Especially, like, looking at his last name, it's like, okay, Kong,
Yeah.
most likely,
What?
probably.
So the guesses that you often get are Japanese?
Japanese.
That's it?
Japanese and Chinese.
Statistically, that is the most likely, though. Like, Chinese are the most, they're outside of Indians, they're the most populated Asians in the world. They're the most populous Asians in the world besides Indians. There's a large Japanese population here, like since the 40s or something. Like since like a long time. Japanese have been in this country a very, very long time. Statistically more likely. The third one that is most likely is actually Filipino, because if you go to any hospital in California, or maybe even in the States, you're gonna run into a Filipino nurse at some point. It's just
that's true.
Statistically highly likely you will run into a Filipino nurse at some point.
I don't get that as much.
Filipino?
No, because I don't think I look super Filipino. My mom gets Filipino a lot though.
I've seen Filipinos that come in all shapes and sizes and skin tones.
Right.
So it could you could be. By the same stretch, you might not be.
So just ask.
You just
nicely.
ask. The guesses that I get are Japanese, Chinese.
I thought you were Japanese.
Korean, Filipino. I have not gotten Thai. I've gotten Middle Eastern. I haven't gotten Indian.
Mexican.
I've gotten Mexican. There are people from the main channel that think that I'm like I'm probably Northeast Indian, and then they like eventually figure it out. They're like, no, he's not.
He's just a dumb American.
Ouch, thanks. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video that we watched, please subscribe to Ian Kung's videos, his YouTube channel. There's a link in the description below. Give the original an upvote and give him a subscribe. And give this channel a subscribe too as well, if you could, please. Thanks. And bell icon, all notifications. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.